And as always, this is Opa Bert coming to you live from Bien Hoa City in Dong Nai Province, Vietnam. I'm streaming to you from the Pegasus Plaza, as I do every Wednesday morning here in Vietnam at 10 a.m. In London, it's about 4 a.m. and in the U.S. East Coast, it's 11 p.m. on Tuesday night. This is Nailing FX, Spot Forex Trading Simplified. Here is the information for the schedule. Next week, I will be on YouTube. There'll be a YouTube session. And then I will also give you the next month's training schedule. The Nailing FX information is in the chat. If you scroll up on the chat, all that information is there. You can take a screenshot or save that chat. All right, let's go ahead and get into the disclaimer. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradedictor provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive by using our products. All right, so now that we've got the disclaimer out of the way, let's go ahead. In today's session, I'm going to walk you through the Z3.03 indicators. A lot of people have asked me about these indicators. Seems that there's some confusion, so I'm going to walk you through a little bit. Remember, all you have to do is send me an email, request the indicator package, and I will send you the information on how to get the evaluation. You get a free evaluation of the indicators for 1 month, and then if you decide that you want to keep them because they help you, we'll provide you with some subscription details. I don't believe in making people buy something and then have to say, well, I didn't really find it useful, so I want a refund. Give you a chance to use the indicators, use them on a demo account, use them on a live account as you wish, and then go ahead and decide. So we'll walk through the indicators, the channel indicator, the alert and the alert confirmation, MACD. The MACD is really nothing more than the MT4 MACD spiced up a little bit to give you a little better view. And then we have the profile and SET. Remember SET, stop, entry, target. Always we're looking for correlation in TradingView to give us an idea of where the unfilled orders are so that we can better enter a trade. With all of this information, we should be able to find some nice trades. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Here are all the indicators on a chart, one chart here. This is a GBP USD 15-minute chart. So today I'm going to focus on a 15-minute chart to show you how you can use the lower time frame. I don't really want to go lower than 15, but you can use the lower time frame. We've been focusing on the hourly and the daily primarily so that you can put on some trades and kind of walk away. A lot of people have asked, well, you know, can I use the indicators on other time frames? Yes, you can, but you know, you're going to get a lot more signals, and not all of those signals are going to be good signals. So you have to know how to distinguish between the good signals and the bad signals, or not bad signals, just the ones that are not going to pay off as well. Now, if you notice on this chart here, I've got what's called the 15-minute channel, but there's also another channel superimposed, and that's done automatically. We're using the indicator. So this is a 1 hour channel. Okay. So the 15-minute and 1 hour channel. And so that helps me determine where really there's much greater possibility that price is going to change direction. So we'll look at that and focus on that. So that's all the indicators. As I said, the MACD is not really much different than actually it's the same as your MACD. The only thing is that the MACD and the signal line are identified when those cross up by these little circles here, and when they are dropping, you see they reduce. The red diamonds help you to determine what the actual movement is. Sometimes it's hard to tell. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. Now here's the Z33 channel on a 15-minute chart, and here are the inputs for that chart. You see here we have the signal gap. That just tells me where the dot is being positioned relative to the band line, the upper band and the lower band here, okay? And it says show time frame number 1 true. Okay, so I'm looking at a time frame. I can see the time frame, show time frame number 2 true. So I've got 2 time frames that I can be looking at simultaneously. So time frame number 1 is set to current time frame, and if you change that, you can change it to any of the standard time frames. And to get back to current time frame, you just put a 0 into current time frame, so you don't have to spell it all out. Okay. Now time frame number 2 is set to auto. It's automatic. So with time frame 2 being turned on, true, time frame 2 is set to automatic, and what that does is it determines the next higher time frame and puts that channel on there. And so then down here we have the look back period of 500 periods. We really don't need more. If we put too many in there, it slows down the computer, unless you've got, you know, like, I don't know, 16 meg of RAM or whatever. Usually 4 to 8 meg of RAM will work fine. The more RAM you have, the better it's going to be. Your processing speeds your processor needs to be 2.1 or better. The higher the better, it's going to work out for you. And then it says show wingding. Well, the wingding is just these dots. That's the dots. Okay, and then you can get some alerts. Really good if you set up your push alerts. But remember, in order to get push alerts or any of these alerts, your system has to be online. So you need to be leaving your computer on or be using a VPN that you can use. All right. So there's your 33 channel. You see we have an upper channel, we have a lower channel here, and then we have the middle channel. And the nice thing about this also is that using the channel and determining what the flow of the channel is. Now, I try to give you the idea that the channels are like a river, okay? And if the river is flowing up, then trading with the river is going to be much easier. You'll have better results. You can trade against the river, swim against the current, but it's going to be a little harder, and you're probably not going to get to the other side as quickly or as easily, or if any at all. So, and especially when you have 2 channels. You see here, this is telling me that we have the channel going up in the 1 hour as well as the channel going up in the 15-minute. So that's no surprise that when we got a signal down here, okay, down in this area, you see the green dot came in, that we would expect that price would be able to traverse the entire channel and get to the other side, which it did. Okay, so that's the channel. We'll be looking at the channel, talking about that when we go to live charts. Okay, now here's our old friend. This is one of the very first indicators that I showed way back months and months ago. It's got to be 6 to 8 months ago, beginning of the year. This is your alert with the alert confirmation. And this you see is daily chart. Now we can use it on lower time frames, but it works much better and gives you better results on the daily time frame. And you can see you'll get an alert arrow, and then it'll be followed by the confirmation. And once you get a confirmation on the daily, you're going to try to enter at the close of that confirmation period or better, if you can get it, and your stop is going to be right above the confirmation signal, okay? So right above that confirmation signal is going to be where your stop is. First time use. All right, I'm not sure. First time somebody sending me a message. I don't understand. Give me cash for play. You should be using a demo account to get familiar with these signals. Okay, so who's sending me that? Egen. Okay. Need credit first time use. Okay. Again, a demo account. Set up a demo account in MT4. If you don't know how to do that, again, send me an email and I'll help you out with that. We might be able to do a one-on-one. But anyways, here we see the alert. That's the alert arrow, and that is then confirmed. We get in, and what we do is we immediately set up at least a one-to-one as a target. And in most cases, what you'll find is you will at least make between 30 and 50 pips. Why do I say 30 to 50? Well, again, it depends on if you're watching the channel. If you're using the channel with the alert, you will be able to identify when you're trading with the flow of the river's flow, or if you're trading against it. Over here, you can see again, we have the stop loss placement of the signal gap, recalculating back only 300. We are displaying alert arrows and confirmation, so you can choose whether you want to display everything or just a little bit. Okay, and so you can then have your email or send alerts push for either the arrows and the confirmation, or one or the other, whatever you choose. Okay, so you can see here at the time of this screenshot yesterday, we had an alert on the GBP USD telling me it was possibly going to move down, but no confirmation. So there was a potential trade on that yesterday. We have to see how this period closes. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next indicator. Again, I'm back on the 15-minute chart. So we're going to try to focus on 15-minute today. And here you see this MACD, and we're just using the MACD as an additional means for confirmation, additional confirmation. So when the MACD is greater than 0 and the MACD is higher than the signal line, it's likely that price is moving up. Once the MACD drops below the signal line, even though the strength is still positive, okay, it's likely that price will be pulling back, moving down until it goes down below here. So what we're doing is we're just watching this as again, another means of confirmation, looking at especially these circled, these yellow or gold circles on the MACD, just telling us that something is changing. or we're crossing the zero line every time we cross the zero line. All right, so that's the MACD. Now, the 62, 65 profile and SET, stop entry target. This is a very interesting indicator. The profile is something that I've been using since 2006. Okay, lots of students using the profile back in the U.S. when I was teaching all over the U.S. Using it very, very effectively, purely looking at the profile, just looking at the profile. Now, in addition to the profile, we have the SET, and that is these arrows that point to the right, okay? So, again, if you're using the SET and in conjunction with the profile, when you get a red arrow pointing to the right, and you are looking at a good positive 100% sequence. When I say 100% sequence, it means that the blue is above the red, which is above the green, which is above the brown. This is our highway in here. Our highway is still very strong, showing to the upside. That tells me that if I enter at the close of this period, okay, at the close of this period, I should use this as a stop. I could consider this location as the stop, and price should move up. Okay, how far? Again, that depends on the time frame. Now, here's the other thing, is that so now this is showing me a stop. Now, the other thing is that if I project these arrows into the future and the arrow hits onto the body of a candle, and the profile is correct, excuse me, hiccup, then now that could identify a short entry. So crossing, and I want to see a body. Remember, we always look at the end of the period. So take a look over here. You see, this told me that when price closed, and it's not the end of the arrow, it's the middle of the arrow, which is this candle right here, which closed down here, and there's my stop, and immediately I would have a target of T1 equal to the stop, and then manage it as best I can. If I run into an opposite arrow, then I would definitely want to be getting out of that position. Okay. Inside here, I also have some arrows. These arrows indicate when the profile, these diagonal arrows, you see this red diagonal arrow kind of in here, this green diagonal arrow, those arrows identify when the profile is changing, okay, from down to up, up to down. And it's, again, another way to confirm that price is moving in another direction, okay? Rather than trying to, and we can find unfilled order zones. It'd be great. That's why we look at the trading view chart to get an idea. If we had unfilled orders down in this area, that would be, again, another positive indication that price is going to change direction and give us a good possibility to take a trade in the new direction. So again, we have a signal gap just to show so that they're not sitting on top of the candles. How far back? Show set. Show set. The set is these blue and the red arrows pointing to the right. Okay. So here, this blue arrow pointed here, and we closed here. Our profile was 100% sequenced, and so we have a trade to the upside. Short-lived, but there was a trade up at that point. Okay, and so we're looking at the set. We're showing the set. We're showing the crossovers. Crossovers are where the profile is changing directions, crossing over, primarily crossing over the brown line. Remember, the brown line is our median when we talk about the profile as the highway. Okay, so here we go, and then if you don't want the profile to show, you can take off the blue, red, green, or brown lines, have only one or two of them, depending on how well you trade and how much practice you have with those. Okay. Now we can have alerts sent. Again, we get push alerts that are possible or audible alerts, and we can get those as set alerts. So we're getting these arrows. Or we can have crossover alerts, okay? So we can have both alerts sent to us or just one or the other. So these indicators are really very dynamic and functional in terms of what can be done. And as I said, we're always looking at TradingView. We take a look at the TradingView chart, and you should be understanding the TradingView. That's a whole different lesson, but we use TradingView in conjunction to correlate with our charts so that we have another layer of confirmation. The more confirmation that we have that the price will do something, it's not 100%. Obviously, nothing is ever 100%, but more often than not, our correlation and our abundance of indicators will help us. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at some live charts and see if we can't find something to help us out. And I will see if I can close this. All right, and go to my live charts. All right, so here is a profile that is set up. I call it my test profile. Down here, you can see down the bottom here is the name. Current profile is test. Now this is all Euro USD, and they're all 15-minute charts. But here you can see the comparison between the indicators. Here is a standard chart looking at a standard chart where basically it's anyone's guess which way price is going to go. You can use 100 different types of indicators. You can use different techniques. You can, you can use wedges. You can use flags. You can use breakouts. All kinds of different things. And most of the time what happens is you get into confusion because there's so many things that can be used. That confusion can also spill over into using the indicators that I have. Sometimes I limit the number of indicators. As you get better and better with using the indicators, you'll be able to adjust your thinking. All right, so here on the 15-minute chart, here we see the alerts and confirmation. Here's alert confirmation up here at the top. And as you can see, that confirmation worked out very nicely. Here's another one. Small moves. Here's one, small moves, another one. So again, you're going to get much more. You're going to get many more indications on this. Now, as you can see here, if price doesn't move away from me too fast, you can see here we had one of these arrows. We had an SET arrow telling me that go ahead and go short if price pointing to the left, if it points into the body with the close. And I had the arrow, the diagonal arrow, showing me that the profile had turned over. And I don't need to see the profile, I just saw that arrow. And so now I've got what? I've got the combination of the alert and the alert confirmation, plus I've got SET and the diagonal showing me that the profile. So this would have been a very high probability, a good possibility to take a trade. The only thing left on this, looking at this, would have been if I just used those two indicators together, would be to go to the trading view and see if I was in a unfilled order sell zone up in here, which I probably would have been. Okay, and so that would have been a nice trade to take and picking up some pips here. Okay, and it's a 15-minute chart. So you're going to look for the things that are really outstanding. I mean, remember the question is, when you have to ask yourself, is it or isn't it? The answer is always it isn't, unless it's obvious and clear. All right. So now let's take a look down here. Here we see the 15-minute channel has been put on this one. And so I've got back here, I know that there is a channel dot that came in. So that channel dot came in just prior to the alert. And so we have that opportunity to take a trade there. Okay. Again, all of this information. So what price traded well beyond this 15-minute channel. The channel flow, right, the river, the flow is definitely, we're seeing back at this point here, is coming down. Okay. Now, this doesn't have the auto channel higher time frame on this chart, but it's easy enough to put on, which gives us more confirmation, right? So now the channel is basically telling me, we were in extreme. Here's how you kind of view the channel. In stochastics and a lot of the other oscillators, you have what's called overbought, oversold. Well, your channel indicator, the Zebra 33 channel indicator, can also be considered as an overbought, oversold. Okay, so when price goes into the upper band of the channel, price is indicating that it is overbought. So if it's overbought, price is likely to start pulling back and coming down, especially if we have a flow, a channel flow indicating that price is coming down. Here we have an oversold situation, right? We get the green dot, oversold, and just like in any other indicator, what is oversold can become more oversold. So just because we get a dot does not mean that we want to immediately go ahead and buy. Okay, so again, any indicator, no matter what it is, all by itself with no kind of confirmation, is not going to give you the best results. you need to understand, first of all, what the indicator is telling you, and then how to use it in conjunction with other pieces of information. Here in this image here, we are looking purely at the profile. And again, I have many students who are pure profile traders. All they do is they watch for the profile, and when price starts trading below the profile and it's in proper sequence, they'll take a trade. And they'll hold that trade until they start to see things change, and they'll get out and then take the trade in the opposite direction. Here in a flat situation, again, there's no trading here, okay? And you get stuck in here once in a while, and you have to monitor and manage in profile. Usually profile traders in the lower time frame are scalping, and they are constantly monitoring their chart, okay? They are not putting on a position and walking away, coming back later to look at it. And again, down here, this one, I'm going to open this one up so that you can see it. This has all the package on it, okay? The entire package on it. And now what I'm going to do is, just to show you, I'm going to bring up the channel properties. You can see here that it says show time frame 1 true, but time frame 2 is false. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make time frame 2 to be true. It's going to use the current time frame, which is 15-minute, and then in time frame 2 is going to automatically go to the next higher time frame, the next appropriate higher time frame. And again, in one of our previous sessions, you saw the entire time frame chart and how things worked out. So look back and get that information. So I'm showing the windings, that's the dots, and I can get alerts sent to me. This particular one, for whatever reason, doesn't show that I can also have push. The push will indicate on the time frame number 1. It will not indicate time frame number 2, only time frame 1. So I set that up. Now let's say okay and see what happens. All right, so here, what do you see? This is time frame number 2, and if you look at that little drop down box there, it says Z33 channel H1. So that's showing me the hourly time frame. And what I can see here, let me see if I reduce it. Okay, what you can see here is time frame, the hourly time frame was pretty much flat, so it didn't really help or degrade time frame number 1, the 15-minute. But what I'm seeing here is price went beyond that time frame. Okay, so price was up beyond that time frame. So when I see that, then I know the 15-minute time frame. Down here you can see again that price, the MACD was above 0 and stayed above 0, And what you can also derive from the MACD is divergence. So divergence will be an indication for you as well. All right, so here, so let's go ahead and go to the next higher time frame here. Now I'm going to go to the 1 hour. And so what you're seeing now is the 1 hour channel. That's the red and green. That's the 1 hour channel. I'm going to put there. You can read it. Leave it there for a second so you can read it. You can see in that box it says 1 hour. Now, the magenta and aqua, that is the 4-hour, automatically showing me the 4-hour time frame. And you can see that when price went into the 1-hour time frame upper band here, and also was in the 4-hour time frame upper band, then price didn't continue on too far, turned and came down. Here it was much higher, but again, the combination of the bands, right? It was in the 4-hour band and went beyond the 4-hour band, but didn't go beyond the 1-hour band, which was above. So these are ways for you to distinguish when price is really going to change direction. So you need to know your multiple time frame activity. All right. So now let's go ahead and see if we can find I'm going to go to my market overview. Okay, my market overview shows me 8 charts, all my charts that are US based, right? And so let's go ahead and open this up. And what do I see here? Okay, I see that I have just in this, and this is a daily chart. This is the one we're most familiar with, the daily chart. I don't have anything. So normally what I would do if I'm just looking for daily trading opportunities, I'm going to say, well, you know what? I'll pass. Okay, I'll pass. Remember, when I have this, when I have the combination of the dot with the alert, or a dot followed by an alert on a daily chart, I can just jump right into that trade at the end of the day. And I'll set my stop above, just above the channel dot, right up there. And I'll go to 1-to-1. And usually what I'll do is I'll look at the 1-to-1. So let's take a look here. What was 1-to-1 on the daily here? That was 80 pips, 80 pips. It didn't really show me much. It didn't show me the trade in the upper channel. So I'm going to go down 1-2 and say, okay, well, maybe I can reach this level being 160 pips, okay, which it, as you can see, it did. So I've got a T1 of 80, that's the 1-to-1, and then I've got a T2, target 2, of 160, that's a 2-to-1. And so when I get 80 pips out of this, well, as soon as, the way I trade it, as soon as I get 50 pips, I'll go to a free trade. I'll go to a free trade and just be safe, okay? When price reaches 80, I would go and lock in 50. And then from there, let it run to T2. Let it run to T2, okay? Since this is trading with the channel has been coming down and is now moving sideways slightly. That would be a good trade. That would be a pretty good trade to take. And so now let's go ahead and look at this analysis in conjunction with putting on true, leave it to auto. So this is a daily. That means that the weekly time frame is going to come up as my second. And you can see here, here's the bottom bottom of that weekly. The top of the weekly is probably way up. There we go. You can see it here. There's my weekly. See channel W1. So we're trading at the bottom of both the daily and the weekly channel now. Would you say that that might be considered oversold? It might be just oversold. Okay, so being oversold, now what we're probably going to be looking for are opportunities to get into some long positions. All right, so let me go ahead and remove the two channels because I don't need it. I've already determined that. The reason I take it off is because if we have a lot of activity going on the chart, sometimes the chart might freeze up, especially if you don't have enough RAM or if your processing speed is slower. Okay, so let's go ahead now and add. Okay, we've got, let's first take a look at what's on the chart. You can see we have the channel and we have the alerts. Okay, those are the two indicators that are on there right now. Always we have our spread that gives me that information. So what do I need to put on here? I need to put on the set, the profile and set. All right. And so I'm going to leave everything on here for now and say okay. And so here we can see that, and let's go ahead and open it up. All right, so what do I see? What do I see? What do I see? What I see here is an indication that price may want to go up. And if it does, I'll put my stop at this level, the SET level. However, I'm still trading under the profile. So the profile has not confirmed that we've got a good move to the upside. So this is on a daily. Let's go down to the hourly and see what we have here on the hourly. Now the hourly is showing me that we are trading above the hourly channel band, the upper band here, we're trading above. So this is probably going to come down. We have an alert. So we had this saying you're going to be trading in the band. We continued to trade. Then now we got the alert. So at this point, if I didn't see anything else with the dot and alert, it might say go ahead and take a trade at that point, at the close of that candle, at that price or better. So that would have been up here, okay? And let's take a look from that to now. We're moved about 6 pips. It's not a big move, okay? So you can see this arrow down here, okay? It points out if we have everything in sequence down here, this might be telling us to go ahead and take a short trade. Nothing is happening really at this point. Let's go down to the 15-minute now and see what we see here. Okay. We have the 15-minute and the river on the 15-minute is still up, right? Now for you, if you're a breakout trader, I would keep my eye on this blue blue level right up in here and this red level right up in here. So those would be kind of the breakout trades on a lower time frame. So you can see that you can do lots of different approaches to getting this put into place. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to the euro. Here's a euro. I'm on a daily, nothing happening on the daily. Let's go jump down to the 15-minute. Okay, 15-minute. I just got a confirmation on the 15-minute. Okay, that price would probably want to go up. Okay, but I got that confirmation in the middle of the channel. So, and the flow is down. The flow is down. Let's go ahead and add my SET. You can see this is all squashed together here. If I see this, there's really no separation. There's no good indication of what's happening with the profile. That is a skip. That is a skip for me. Now, Euro USD 15-minute. Let's go ahead and also see what we're looking at here. Here is the trading view chart. Okay, and trading views basically says that we're in a buy zone, right? Buy zone here, and going up to this sell zone. Okay, so we could put a stop just below the sell zone, and let's take a measurement. Let's take a quick measure. Get the tool here and look at. So that would be a 4 or 5 pip stop for a 3 to 4 pip gain. Obviously, that is not a good risk reward. Okay, so it's not a trade that we could be looking at taking on the 15-minute chart here. Okay, so these arrows here that you see called auto phase, those auto phase arrows are the same arrows that you see on the MT4 chart. If I can get the MT4 chart to come up. All right. Whoops. My chat window is there. Let's see if I can find something. All right. Okay, so what you're seeing here, you see this auto phase arrow down here. That is this arrow right here. This arrow here, the alert, is this one here. Prior to this one, there was an alert prior. And we've got this. This was alerted, but this took that out because it came down lower. Okay, so you need to watch these. You'll get these alerts to come in, and down here we have auto climate. Auto climate Learning how to use the auto climate is again another part of understanding the trade. Put this up here. Okay. And this is telling me that, if I can move this over a little bit. Here. Okay. So here we see the auto climate. And again, Trade with UFOs teaches you can go and you can get all that background information. Okay, so some of you are indicating that you're first-time traders and really don't understand a lot of what I'm proposing to you here. And I can appreciate that. It's a lot of information for people who have not traded before. What I strongly suggest is you send me your email. I will send you the evaluation. Have a demo account set up and put the indicators onto the demo account and play with them. Play with it, and so you can see how it works out. So it doesn't look like there's much opportunity here right now. Let's go ahead and open this up. Let me go to here. Again, we're looking at the daily, nothing on the daily. Come down to the 15-minute. Oh, earlier this morning, earlier today, we would have had some nice trading down in here. Okay, you can see this. We got the dot, we got the arrow, and took the trade. Now on the 15-minute, sometimes what I will do is say, all right, let me just go ahead, and once I see a dot, I will put a sell limit order in the middle of the channel, okay, in the middle of the channel. Sometimes I'll put it up on the top of the channel, again, depending on how the SET and the profile look. If the profile looks very strong and I've got an upriver movement, then I'll go higher. But let's say I'm just taking it in the middle, and then I will put on a 15. You can see here it's only 7 or 8 pips to the top. So I'll measure this distance down to here, and that looks like 17 or 18. So that looks like I could make a 15 pip stop. So I'm going to go 1-to-1, 15 for 15, and down in here you can see that would have been nicely had. So I can try to anticipate. Be very careful when you anticipate trades. My experience is when I anticipate trades, very often they go against me. So I'd rather wait for confirmations, good confirmations, okay? And so I've got a nice good confirmation, and a new dot came in, and here, boom, I got this. It's well above here, so I can take this trade at this level, and my stop would have been up here. Look at my points. I would have had a 5 pip stop and easily looking for a 15 pip move with a 5 pip stop. 3-to-1, very, very good trading opportunity in a lower time frame. So that's how that works out. Unfortunately, let's see if I can jump through this real quick. We've got a on daily. Okay, I got a daily confirmation here. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the pound US dollar. Pound US dollar. It's trading in the middle of the chart. The chart is pretty much flat. If I take this trade right now, my stop is going to be 150 pips. Should trade down to here, and that's about 200 pips. So that's a little better than 1-to-1. Again, I need to do the full analysis, bring up my other indicators. I'm not sure that this is going to be a good trade. All right, so we are done for the hour. I will check this out a little bit more and possibly put this trade on, and if I do, then we will analyze the results next week. Remember, next week the trade session, the Nailing FX session will be on YouTube, so look for the YouTube information for that session. Have a great week, good trading, see you next time.